Which conspiracy theory is so believable that it might be true? That your phone's microphone is constantly hot and it's listening for keywords to target advertising. Most glaring instance where this happened to me was when I walked into a colleague's office. He had just gotten a standing desk, but one that goes on top of his existing desk, rather than a standalone, pun, model. That's important to note. I said, "Nice standing desk. When did you get that?" "Thanks, just today," he replied. That was literally all that was said about the desk. We talked about work-related stuff, and as I walked out and checked my phone, there was an ad on Facebook for that exact model of standing desk. I have never owned one, wanted one, or googled one before, yet there it was on my feed. Tinfoil hat be damned, they listen in. That Natachajad was murdered by the Catholic Church for exposing a pedophile ring. This is trending on r/conspiracy and r/at off the loop right now. Credit to you/update for the summary. Natachajad, a model/TV journalist, exposed a pedophile ring on live Argentinian TV a few months ago, after following cases over the last few years. She had claimed that she would not commit suicide in April of 2018 while investigating these rings, but was found on February 23, 2019 to be dead from suicide. Another journalist she had accused of pedophilia on the airing, Luis Ventura, had uploaded an image of her dead body shortly after she killed herself on Twitter, and then promptly deleted it afterwards. To quote you/Happy Cake Day 1. She supposedly died from a cocaine overdose, heart failure/stroke. She had said that, if she wound up dead, the people she had accused of rape, she was on trial, and it was powerful people, would be guilty. "I won't kill myself. I won't overdose and drown in a bathtub. I won't shoot myself." Michael Jackson was chemically castrated by his father to preserve his soprano singing voice, which was the source for his infatuation with children. All rocks are soft until you go to touch them. That there are hundreds of companies that operate tens of thousands of Reddit accounts each. They have been auto-rigging these accounts for years, use scripts to auto-post and comment, and have humans that shift through all the accounts to make various comments to maintain these accounts. These companies have the ability to control and game their way to the front of Reddit. Huge brands use them, special interest groups use them, political parties use them. It's not a conspiracy, it's a real thing. The ballistic missile threat that was sent to Hawaiian cell phones saying, "Seek shelter, this is not a drill," that was later deemed a mistake, was a real missile that was intercepted before impact. Dyson purposefully made the cable shorter over time, just before announcing the cordless version. My DC-01 has a 12 meter flex. My DC-14 has a 6.5 meter flex. They purposefully made the flex shorter to be an inconvenience and make people want the cordless version. Darth Jar Jar was 100% planned and hinted at in TPM, but the sheer amount of hatred for the character made Lucas back down. I actually wish he went through with the original vision. Memes about the NSA and other spy programs are encouraged by the very agencies spying on us to twist the idea into the absurd and to humanize their agents. The rich orchestrated the recession back in 2008 to take advantage of the market. Miley Cyrus's crazy streak was all a carefully planned marketing scheme to get her solidified as an A-list celebrity. The Vatican holds horrible dark secrets and many answers to existential questions. And that Area 51 is a publicity stunt by the government to hide the real testing facility. YouTube in a mobile browser is so shitty, so they can force you to use the app and not use an ad blocker. I have long argued to friends and family that Barack Obama may have been a CIA operative sometime in between college and being a community organizer in Chicago. Bear with me. After graduating from Columbia in 1983, Obama went to work for a company called Business International Corporation. A company that is known to have been used as a CIA front in the past. There is little information available about this time in Obama's life. The CIA was actively recruiting at that point in history and would have been very interested in a young black man with an Ivy League education and ties to Indonesia and Africa. The information would most likely still be classified, but it could also have helped his rapid accession in politics at such a young age. After nursing this theory for a while, I finally googled it, and, sure enough, loads of websites tout similar theories, some of it convincing. Not the stuff about him being a CIA chrononaut who fought Russians on the moon. That angle is less convincing. Long John Silver's is some kind of money laundering scheme on the basis that they have been open for as long as I can remember, but I have also literally never seen a busy Long John's. Toxic delusion that I ironically entertain? Perhaps. Some organization/group of people wanted all the Kennedys dead for some reason. Semicolon. Edit. The term conspiracy theory and its poor connotation was created by the US government specifically for skeptics of the official JFK assassination story. Just felt I should put that out there. The president of the Philippines, Duterte, is very anti-drugs to hide his own involvements with drug cartels off which he makes billions. That the CIA post this question every time, so they know what the general public suspect. The Laurel Canyon Conspiracy. Basically, if you look at the counterculture revolutionaries in the music industry in the 60s, most of them were the children of military intelligence people. So the theory is that the free love, lots of drugs movement they inspired was done intentionally to distract the youth from a full-scale revolution. The thought was, if the angry youth of the mid to late 60s were too high and getting laid all the time, they would stop caring as much about societal ills and then basically sleepwalk through the 70s, which they did. I stumbled upon this when I was reading up on Jim Morrison and how his father was the one who called in the fake strike at the Gulf of Tonkin that kicked off the Vietnam War and which was shown later to have been a false flag. Turns out, a lot of his contemporaries were also children of highly placed military people with ties to intelligence. Strange that they all wound up in Laurel Canyon as part of the same movement. Apple started the meme about AirPods being expensive as a marketing ploy. The value of expensive art is just as a pseudo-currency for rich people to subtly buy drugs or other illicit things. Cops go on wires and leave random police sightings to cause people to slow without actually having to stay and check on people. I don't have time to type it all out right now, but the entire situation surrounding the construction and operation of Denver International Airport is strange, even by non-conspiracist standards. Have fun in the rabbit hole. Here's an actual list of proven conspiracies. The recommended food pyramid is created by the FDA, but the FDA is funded by a lot of certain food industries, poultry, dairy, etc. They in turn made the recommended nutrition based off of their funding by these companies and not based on a well-balanced diet. Kennedy was killed by the CIA. I would never trust the CIA, definitely not 60s CIA. The government experiments on the mentally insane because no one will believe someone with that kind of medical history. The Reddit search function is intentionally bad, or not purposely bad, but they know how to fix it but refuse to encourage more new posts. This is going to get buried, but smartphone batteries. Remember when phones used to have removable batteries and now almost none of them do? A law enforcement agency could make you think that your phone is powered off when in reality it's just displaying a black screen. That way they could still track you, listen to your conversations and take pictures. You would never know for sure. There's a huge conspiracy among the wealthy and elite to kidnap and rape children. We've gotten close to it. Epstein, Jimmy Savile, the decades of credible rumors out of Hollywood. In recent years with Hashemito and the congressional harassment epidemic, one would hope the real story can come out. The Phantom Cosmonaut Conspiracy. Pretty much, the short story is that Yuri Gagarin is not the first man to go to space, but the first one to go and come back alive. It just seems like a USSR thing to do. The oil and coal industries invested heavily in killing off nuclear power as an attractive alternative. These days we have reactor designs many times safer than other methods of generating power, and the waste issue is something that could be fixed with sufficient investment. Multiple football World Cups have been influenced either by governments hosting them or other entities out for their own gain. 2002 South Korea/Japan and 1978 in Argentina are the two most obvious ones that come to mind. I have a few I love. 1. Kobayashi, the competitive eater, is really a fantastic up-close sleight-of-hand artist. 2. Weather forecasters buy stock in supermarket chains and then over-exaggerate winter storms. 3. Weather control. That big bread paid toaster manufacturers to put in a setting that is too high so that people would burn their toast, meaning that they sell more bread. I don't know if it's a conspiracy theory at this point, but a lot of people still don't acknowledge that your internet searches and social media profiles are absolutely being used as training models by major rig companies. I was a drunk college student and had access to them to run AI training. If you still think you're off the grid, you're an idiot. Being frank, it's not a big deal. If you don't have dark shit to hide, those people are too busy building the new technological world to give a shit that you look at midget porn. But don't delude yourself to think people don't have access to anything you do on the internet.